Hey everybody, it's Matt Modi again from Modi Sports Analytics, as always on behalf of OddsJam, just here to bring you another video about making money betting on sports. So if you watched my videos in the past, most of them have been, or all of them have been about how you can brainlessly do it. So the stuff you're betting on is either an auto win or you're using the sports books to get the new user bonuses or the odds boost bonuses, stuff like that. So today will be a little bit different. It'll be about specifically features on DraftKings and Fanduel. So those two specific sports books. It's not going to be making free money, but it is going to be no risk betting. There are features that both of them have specifically that I like to use all the time. They're a single game, risk-free single game parlays. Both of them do a lot of different risk-free stuff, but the one I'm going to specifically talk about today is the strategy behind risk-free single game parlays, because there is a strategy behind it. There's two different avenues you can go, which I'll get into. But just to give a little recap about me and the value that I've been talking about. So the first video was talking about new user bonuses, sign-up bonuses. So on Sportsbook, stuff like this, the new user bonuses. So if you make a first-time deposit of 1,000, free bet up to 5,000, stuff like that. The second video was about no-brainer odds boost. So again, just looking at DraftKings. There was more here when I did the video last week, but there's still one available for you to hop on if you haven't yet, this Tampa Bay plus 73. So all you need to do is not lose by 74, as it says here, and you make your money back. And then the last video was about positive EV betting and arbing. So arbing is free money. Positive EV betting is profitable over time, but it takes a little bit of a faith play, not a faith play, but it takes a little bit of patience, I should say, because those are bets you're betting on. You're just betting one side, and they're not no-brainers, so they could lose. But if you keep that up over time, you will be profitable. So make sure you check those out. I just wanted to give a little recap here to see just to show you the value. But before I get into today's topic, I just again want to highlight the OddsJam website. So each time I've gone over a different feature. Today I want to specifically focus on the blog. So I love writing. I love these videos as well, but I also love writing. And this one here is actually from me, the futures odds. But not all these are from me. I mean, there's some this one is a great article, bankroll management. I think that's incredibly important. So when you're using the website, I know it's really easy to get locked in on the different tools, the calculators, all that stuff, but make sure that you're also checking out the blog and some written work, because a lot of times they can go into detail in ways that video can't. And sometimes it's just easier to understand stuff when you're reading it. So like I said, make sure you check out the blog and some great articles there. But going into today's focus will be the single game parlays. So let me go back to the home screen here. So like I said, a lot of times DraftKings and Fanduel will offer these risk-free bets. And the way you find them is you just go to promos at the top. This is DraftKings. I'll show you on Fanduel. But you go to the promos at the top, and then on the left here, they list all their different type of promotions. So the new user was the one I just talked about. No-brainer, I bet every single time. It's like I said, it's called a no-brainer for a reason. But today I'll be going over the risk-free betting. So as it says here, you place a same game parlay on any NFL game, and if your bet loses, you'll credit your bet back up to 25. So the way you do that is first you have to opt in, which in order for me to do that, I'll need to log in, which I'm not going to do now. But you need to make sure you opt in, because it won't work if you don't click the opt-in button. And another thing that's important is to make sure you view the terms. So just to make sure that you're not getting confused by anything. So it's got to be in week 1. It's got to be obviously pregame and using the same game parlay feature. So if you can't just do you can't just do a parlay on the same game unless you click that feature, which I'll show you how to do. The terms of the bet are up to $25, they'll credit back. So if you place a $25 bet, it loses, they'll just fund $25 right back in your account. Like I said, it must be using the same game parlay feature. And another thing that's important is it must be the first bet placed after you opt in. So don't click opt in and then kind of mess around a little bit, or else you'll lose it. So it has to be the first one. The most important thing here is this one I just mentioned, that you have to have, that has to be your first bet after you opt in, and then also up to 25. So for me, I just max out the full 25. I mean, you don't have to, but most of the people that are using these promos and the OddsJam website, they have a bankroll that's a little bit higher. So, I mean, I'm going to bet $25 on the website, so I might as well just take the risk-free approach. So the way you do it is you go back to the home screen. So I'm going to show just the Thursday night game between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. So you click into the game, you can click anywhere. And the way you do that is you see this little button here. You have to click it. So right now, if I bet on Bucks -8 over 52, it's not a single game parlay. It's not the same game parlay, so it would not count. So let me clear my, yes, I want to clear it. So you may have to make sure you click this button or it won't work. So then, as you'll notice, the screen changes a little bit. So as far as the strategy here, there are two different ways you can go. Before I say which one I like, I'll just provide both. So what you could do is you just do a really, really easy parlay that you're almost guaranteed to hit. So you really think the Bucks are going to win. You just take money line. You take the Bucks money line. I don't want to mess with the spread. I just want to make sure my parlay wins. And I'm just going to take the alternate, or I'm just going to take the money line. And then as far as total points, I don't think this game's going to be a shootout. I don't want to bet the game total of 52, but I don't think it's going to be a shootout. So I'll just take the highest under I can get, which is under, as you see, under 62.5. So right now that parlay is only -150. So if I bet 25, I would profit less. So that really doesn't make sense. But if you just want to guarantee profit, that would be the way to do it. But what I like to do is to kind of go big with these. So instead of making it the safest parlay possible, I'll just go crazy. So let's see how that works. So looking at the spread again, I personally, if you ask me my opinion, I think this is going to be a blowout. So, well, the Bucks spread right now is 8.5. If you use the same game parlay, I think they're going to win by 10. So I'm going to take the Bucks -9.5. So if they win by 10 or more, it hits. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. So let's go to the game props and let's see if you could. So you can't. So what? Okay, that's a good thing to note is that you can't do team totals. Actually, yes, you can right here. So all right. So I don't think Cowboys are going to score a lot. I think they're going to score less than 20. So I'm taking the Cowboys under 20.5. So right now that's already at +170. So if this bet hits, you're profiting more money than you put in. But let's go further. I think the Bucks. I think they're going to score over. I think they're going to score 4 or more touchdowns. So Bucks over 3.5. Now we're at +310. You could go more if you think they're going to score 5. Now we're at +550. Okay, that's important to see. So the problem with that is if you bet the team total touchdowns, it takes away the spread. So I'm going to take this back to 3.5. I'm going to go back at the top here to the game lines, and I'm going to take the alternate spread at -9.5. Go back to where I was. It's interesting that it removes that. So, and at the end, it's important to show it tells you what you have. So if you are unsure if it's able to place the parlay you have, just make sure you look at your picks before you go. So anyways, I have the Bucks -9.5. I have the Cowboys under 20 points. I have the Bucks over 3.5 touchdowns. So +310 is nice, but we can go better. So let's go to some of the game. Let's go to some props. Looking through, let's see. I think that I don't like to mess in a parlay with the first touchdown score because that's just too risky. So let's go. Who do I think is going to score? Even though I don't think the Cowboys are going to score a lot of points, Zeke's probably going to score, right? So I'll take Zeke to score any touchdown. Now it's already up to +900. If you want to go more, I think, Antonio Brown's going to have a huge game. So I'm going to find Antonio Brown's over receiving yards. And I'm going to go, he's going to have over 65 yards. Now we're at +2,500. So I've tried to limit myself to 5 picks because eventually it just gets a little bit crazy. So right now, yeah, like I said, you can look at this, click this little link to pick how many you want to do. So right now I have Cowboys under 20, Bucks over 3.5 touchdowns, Bucks -9.5, Zeke scores, and Antonio Brown over 65 receiving yards. Individually, none of those are crazy. I think the biggest risk is probably the Cowboys under 20.5 or the Zeke anytime touchdown score. But individually, that you can kind of see all them happening. And if you place $25 bet at 2,500 odds, you make 600. You pay out $650. So, and if this loses, you just get the $25 back in your account. So no harm, no foul. So I love these single game parlays, these same game parlays. I do it every time. I might honestly lock this one when we hang up. I just need to make sure that they're all positive EV bets, which I went into in my last video. So if you don't know what that means, make sure you check it out. But again, to get there on DraftKings, you go to promos. On the left here, they list all of them risk-free, and you opt in. So that is how you do it under DraftKings. Fanduel has something similar, but it's a little different. So let me go to the home screen so I can show you how to get there. So Fanduel, they list their promos up on the little button up here or to the left. Either one works. They unfortunately don't have it listed as well where they're labeled. So you kind of have to just go in and find it. So let's do that. So NFL Week 1 risk-free bet. That's it. Well, let's find a little more info because the DraftKings one was a little more specific. It said up to 25. This doesn't have any limit. So let's see how this one works. So you have to log in, opt in, obviously. You have to place it from September 9th to September 13th, so week 1. This one's a little bit different. The wagers must have odds minus 200 or greater. So the example I showed you, the first example was just betting on two really, really easy bets that'll probably hit, like the under 62 and the Bucks money line. Neither of those would work because they don't have odds minus 200 or greater. So that's something to keep in mind is what they actually allow. But again, even still, how it works, it doesn't list the limit. So we have to keep going. And they finally list it in the fine print down here, max ranging from 10 to 1,000. So this is a little different. They limit on the odds you can place it, but they really don't have a limit on how much you can do. So again, if you have the bankroll, I would just do $1,000. But if I'm risking 1,000, I probably wouldn't do the 5 kind of shoot for the moon bet. I'd probably do something a little safer, but obviously still within the guidelines. So the way you do this one, it's the same way. You go NFL. Obviously, you have to make sure you click opt-in. So make sure you click the game. You have to make sure that you do anything. So this one's a little different. Here you go, same game parlay. They don't have a little button that you select that kind of turns it on and off. You just have to make sure you click here. And then anything that has the same game parlay on the left, that works. So let's say I just want to look at all the different player props. If it doesn't have, same game parlay listed, it won't work. So last touchdown score is not eligible. Passing touchdowns, not eligible for whatever reason. So I like to just go to same game parlay and then scroll down from here. So like I said, for this one, the worst odds you can place are minus 200, where you can bet up to 1,000. So what I like to do is, again, I think the Bucks are going to win. Obviously, I can't take money line. So let's see if I can get an alternate spread. Let's see the best spread I can get while still betting on the Bucks. So Bucks minus 185, minus 5.5. So you're still getting a little bit less than a touchdown. I think that's worth it. Make sure it's still in the same game parlay. It is. And same thing here. I don't think there's going to be a ton of points scored. I think it's mainly going to be the Bucks. So I will take the best odds I can get under minus 120. So it looks like I want to do an under. Looks like that's under 56.5. So you're still getting 4 points from the total. And right now, this bet, the parlay is plus 136. So if you bet $1,000, you'll win $1,300. It's a $300 profit. And on 2 things that are likely to hit. Again, if you want to just go, let's remove that. If you want to just go crazy and do something similar where you're like, no, what, screw it. $1,000, I'm going to bet that no matter what. So I'm just going to go for broke and see how much I can make. So let's try that. Alternate spread. You want to do the same thing. You want to do, let's say you think the Cowboys are going to win. So you're not even going to do an alternate spread. You're going to take the Cowboys money line. It's already plus 295. Anytime touchdown score, we'll do Zeke again. So if combining those two, you're already at plus 465. So it's already plus a lot more. So if you bet 1,000, you're winning $4,600. So those are the different options you can do with same game parlays. For me, I'm going to place them on both. I'm probably not going to do the full 1,000 because that's a lot. What I'll probably do is maybe closer to 500, and I'll do a safer one, and then I'll go for broke here. So either way, if either of those hit, I'm going to be profiting. Obviously, the difference between 25 and 500 is stark. So maybe if you just want to do one crazy, one safe one, so that way you're automatically profiting, you can do that, or you can just do up you can use the full advantage you can with FanDuel and get up to 1,000. It's kind of up to you. If you ask my advice, I kind of like playing both sides. So I'll find the 25. So if I'm betting 500 here, I'll do a safe one here, and then I'll find a $25 parlay that'll win me more than 500, which I found before. The one advice I'll give you if you do both is don't bet the same one. So don't bet bucks on both, because if they lose and you lose both parlays, try to make it a little bit different. So maybe on the DraftKings one, you'll take Bucks -10. On the Fanduel one, you'll take Cowboys +20, +15, whatever you want to do. I would just make sure that you make it so that if one bet loses, you don't lose both parlays, because then you're just SOL. But yeah, that's how same game parlays work. One advice I would give you before actually placing the bet, like I said, I would make sure that they're all positive EV, and you can do that either using this betting tools on OddsJam, or you can compare it to the sharpest sports book out there in Pinnacle. You just go to football, click NFL, click the Bucks, and then you find the odds. So it looks like they have the handicap at -8 as opposed to -8.5. So already you're getting value if you bet the Cowboys +8.5. And just make sure you're comparing it. Make sure it's a good bet, because even though these parlays are kind of the dart throws, or they're lottery tickets, you want to make sure that you're still placing smart bets. So that's that. That's the same game parlay. If you have any questions, obviously you can feel free to let me know. Modi _sports is my Twitter. If you want to hit me up on Gmail, it's just Modi, MODI, sportsanalytics@gmail.com. Or you can hit up the OddsJam guys. They're knowledgeable as well, obviously, if you've seen their videos. But yeah, that's it. So like I said, happy betting. Make sure that you play smart bets, and hopefully these all win for you. Thanks.